Hi, I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all over the world about self-government, which actually is a principle that can help you in your parenting, your family relationships, your overall happiness. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about how to calm yourself down when you feel stressed. In this video, we're going to spend some time understanding stress and your stress habits, and then we're going to be talking about a calm plan that you can use to help you decrease your stress. Anybody can feel stress. In fact, we've all been there before. But what you do with the stress makes all the difference. Some people give in to their stress. They feel like, well, if it's stressful, I must have to follow this train in order to really fix my problem. But that answer is actually not true. So when a person is experiencing stress, that force of stress is going to hold them back. They will not be able to accomplish the things that they want to, because they will have a hard time thinking. Have you noticed that about stress? So many people, when they're stressed, they're like, I can't think, I can't figure this out. And they start worrying even more because they can't figure it out. Why can't the person think when they are stressing? Well, I'll tell you why. Because they're in the wrong part of their brain. In order to think, you need to be in the prefrontal cortex of the brain. This is where you have 100% capacity to think clearly. But when a person is feeling stressed, mildly stressed, they go to midbrain. This gives them about 40% ability to solve their problems. If the stress gets really bad, they'll end up in back brain. When they're in back brain, that means they only have about 10% ability to solve their problems. So when they're like, I can't think, guess what? It's because they can't think. So if you experience stress, one of the indicators could be you're having a hard time thinking. You're having a hard time putting your ideas together or understanding what somebody else is trying to tell you. That could be a sign that you are experiencing stress or anxiety. Stress actually is a habit for many people. I know a person who does not like public speaking. And if you ever say to this person, hey, I would like for you to speak in front of the group, or could you tell somebody to the group this, immediately they start to sweat and they clam up, and it's just like a stress thing. It just triggers them, because they have this habit, this way of thinking about public speaking that's like, I can't, what if I mess up? And they have certain things that go through their mind. Here's the thing with that person. Every time she speaks, it's profound. Every time she says something, everyone listens. She's an incredible speaker. But for whatever reason, she has decided to develop a thinking habit about public speaking that has led to a stress association with the concept of public speaking, or even just talking in front of a group at all. So we all create habits. There are certain thoughts that we establish related to certain things that lead to our stress. We have to understand that, because part of decreasing our stress, part of getting ourselves calm, is actually changing the thoughts that we have. So there's things that we can do behaviorally, but then there's mindset things. And quite frankly, the mindset work is actually more powerful than a lot of the behavioral work. So how do we change our minds? That's what we need to talk about. So we're going to spend some time talking about our thought patterns and our calm plans, but before we do you see that subscribe button there? That subscribe button is meant to be pushed. If you pushed the button, then you will get the opportunity to see more videos just like this in your YouTube feed. And don't forget the notification bell as well, because then you will be notified when new videos come out. So let's talk about our thoughts and a calm plan, because we've got to have somewhere to go from here, right? Now we know what's going on inside of us. Hopefully we can evaluate ourselves and say, all right, so first part of the plan, what does it feel like when I get stressed? Now, when I get stressed, I start feeling a tightness in my chest. It starts feeling like that I'm There's a weight on my chest. It's getting pushed on me. Okay, so that for me is stress. What does it feel like to you? You need to know. Now, as soon as I feel that, I have trained myself to go, oh, I'm feeling stressed. That feeling is stress. And stress is a lie. Stress does not have to be true. I do not have to cater to stress. I can focus on the truth. And I will sometimes even spiritually just cast out any feeling that I think might be leading to me feeling disempowered or like I cannot handle a circumstance. And I will just say, I reject any feeling like this. I know only bad spirits or bad feelings would try to get me to feel stressed. And the truth is, I know who I follow. I know where I'm going. I know what the truth is, and I'm going to focus on that. So I'm rejecting any stress right now. So I will push the stress away vocally. I will say it out loud. Because I need to hear myself be brave enough to say, I'm not listening to the stress anymore. And then if I feel any stress thoughts come back to me, I will say, nope, sorry, done with that. Done, finished, dropping the subject. Now, why would I learn to drop the subject? Well, because there are skills that I know. Now, these skills are so easy a baby could do them. In fact, my grandbaby, who is 18 months old, knows this skill that I'm going to talk about right now. It's called accepting a no answer. It's simple, but it takes practice, and sometimes we don't want to do it, but we need to. So there are 4 steps to accepting a no answer. You look at the person or the situation. You keep a calm face, voice, and body. So calmness. You got to know what that is for you, for your calm plan. What does it feel like when I am calm? What does it sound like when I'm calm? What does it sound like when I'm not calm? Or what thoughts am I having when I'm not calm? Okay, you've got to be able to recognize those things. And then the third part is you say, okay, that's how it is, or you drop, or you disagree appropriately about it, and then you drop the subject. So for myself, once I have decided that stress is a lie and the truth is I can do all kinds of things with God's help, I can do anything. That's what I always tell myself. With God's help, I can do anything. And I truly, truly rely on Him. Whether you're a God-fearing person or not, that's where I go to. So you need to decide what your truth is going to be that you tell yourself and that it truly is true. And then that thought of stress comes back again. Nope, not doing it. And so that actually makes it so that my capacity is enormous. I can do so many things day after day after day because I don't spend a lot of time catering to thoughts of I can't do. I just go, okay, what's next? Okay, what's next? Now I know brains are different. Some people's brains process a lot more than mine do on something beforehand because maybe they have higher levels of anxiety and that's just the way that they are. But you still can tell yourself, stop processing about that. Let's drop the subject and just carry on with what I can accomplish right now. It is possible to direct yourself forward. So that is called giving yourself an instruction. And that is another one of the 4 basic skills. The 4 basic skills that I teach parents to teach children, which actually they need the skills too, are following instructions, accepting no answers and criticism, accepting consequences, and disagreeing appropriately. A person who's self-governed, whether they are an adult or a child, they can give themselves no answers, they can give themselves instructions, they can self-correct, and they can disagree appropriately. So those are the key skills or hallmarks of a person who is self-governed. And actually, when you can do those things, you will be calm because in all of those skills, one of the steps of each of those skills is to have a calm face, voice, and body. So the person has to focus on being calm regularly in order to be a self-governed person. So as I'm creating my calm plan, what I do is I give myself a no answer on thinking about the things that are lies. I declare them as lies. I tell myself what the truth is, and then I tell myself to move on. I instruct myself forward. That is a very basic, very simple calm plan that anybody can use. And what does it look like with a child? Well, it looks like the parent says, oh, it looks like we're not being calm right now. It looks like we're going out of control. And so we need to go to our calm place, or we need to go through our calm plan. And then we need to determine what thoughts or what actions are getting in our way. We need to weed those out and tell ourselves how to move forward. We can do that with our children all the time. So of course we can do that with ourselves as well. It just takes some deliberate action. You don't have to go through your life feeling stressed all the time. In fact, I really hope that you won't. I hope that you'll learn some skills that can help you in the moments where you feel like life is caving in or that you can't think anymore. Every person has been there at one point or another. And part of this life, I know, is learning how to conquer those little things that hang us up like that. But we can do it. We can decide not to give in to the thoughts of stress and anxiety and instead to move ourselves to front brain, to thinking about solving our problem, to thinking about getting ourselves to a place of calmness so that we can be better prepared to handle the stressful situations that we might not know are just around the corner. If you have enjoyed this video, I know that you will love my next video, which is the not-so-known secret for parenting success. Click on the link to that video now. I'll see you there.